Good morning, everybody. So, I tried to record one yesterday, but didn't work out. It stopped about halfway through, saying that the camera got too hot. Boy, summertime is a real pain in the butt. So, we're back to doing it again today, and we'll see how it goes. Neighbor's getting some landscaping done today. So what I was talking about before I was so rudely interrupted by the camera itself was that my car is rattling a lot today, and part of that's due to my weekend plans, what happened over the last weekend, and that's why I have a bunch of crap rolling around in the back of my car. So this last weekend was fairly busy. I don't know whether we'll talk about it on the show or not, so I figured we'd talk about it here. So I had a birthday party on Saturday night. It was for a little girl who was turning 12. And yeah, 12-year-olds can make a lot of noise. I'm very glad that when my daughter was that age, she did not want to have a party with a bunch of her friends. She was happy with just family parties. Because, wow, there was only about 8 of them. But I think my eardrums are still recovering from it because it was ridiculous. They actually took a gator ride, not like as an alligator, but as in like the 6-wheeled little vehicle that you can ride around farms in. And well, they were probably a good half mile away, and we could still hear exactly where they were. So that tells you how loud those girls were. Everything was screaming. Man. Everything is a giant scream fest with girls that age. I don't know what it is. It could be as small as, like a fly on you. And that, just the highest pitched scream that could just break glass. Ears are still ringing. And then on Sunday, had church in the morning, and then I also volunteered to help out at a men's event that evening. So double dose of church. And don't be thinking that this segment is going to be 100% about church or preaching or anything like that. Because, well, I don't care what your religion is. I'm not here to convert you, to quote passages to you, or anything like that. For me, religion is a deeply personal thing, and I think that's the way it is for most people. And you are pretty much, unless you're open to a conversation about that, I am not going to talk to you about that. I am going to, give you my opinion if you ask for it, but otherwise, nah, not going to get it from me. Because there's been wars fought over religion. I don't know if you know that or not. So, the whole thing of my God is better than your God is not exactly my bag. It's just not what I do. Hell, if you're an atheist and you don't even believe in that, whatever, that's your thing to take up. Hindu, Jew, whatever you believe in, just do it. That's, like I said, it's all you. You're the one that has to answer for it in the end. So you got to deal with you. I don't have to be you, so I have to be me. Now, that being said, the men's event I had to do was pretty fun. It was, obviously, it was a kickoff to, well, not obviously, but it was a kickoff to a men's Bible study workshop or group or whatever you want to call it. Basically, they're going through a book, not the book. They're not going through the Bible, but they're going through a book written by another pastor. And it's got an accompanying video series and all this other stuff. And if I ever remember the name of the book, I'll put it down there in case you're interested in knowing exactly what it is. It sounds interesting. The big thing that I took away from it is the guy who's organizing this whole thing is at least realistic. he said, all right, we're going to do monthly meetings because weekly doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, I already like the way this is shaping up, because he's in the realm of possibilities here, because I cannot obligate myself towards a weekly meeting. It's just not going to happen. I'll miss more than I'll attend, because I'm sorry, all of us are busy. I mean, I have my work stuff going on. You know, other guys have family obligations because they have small kids, or there's doctors and lawyers and all kinds. I mean, you just cannot do something that's weekly. I mean, think about it. The only thing weekly that I make time for is the radio show. Do I have time to make room in my schedule for another weekly thing? Absolutely not. It would be insane. So, monthly. Hey, all right, now you got a shot at me showing up. So I might do this. The whole thing, though, is about, and that's why I say I'm not preaching. I'm just going to tell you the synopsis of this, and maybe that'll give you an idea where the inspiration for this segment came from. But it's called a Kingdom Man. Okay, now it's all about being a true man according to the Bible, because as the presenter on Sunday told us, you know, he's concerned about the wussification and the downplaying of what it means to be a man according to the Bible. Now, I'm going to get rid of the according to the Bible part, because, you know, I think there is a large portion, not a majority, I think there's a large portion of people out there that believe that there is a dumbing down or a downplaying of what it means to be a man, or what we're being told it means to be a man, or what, you know, the roles that men are supposed to be taking. And maybe there is a pussification or wussification of manlyhood in certain first world countries, we'll say. You know, the U.S. probably being one of them. I will say to a certain degree, and with a clarifier, I might even agree. But here's the thing. A lot of people want to blame feminism. They want to blame the government. They want to blame political correctness. They want to blame the school system. They want to blame all these other people. You know, they want to blame a lot of outside forces for this. And I think that's where we start to go wrong. Because much like anything, and I've said it before, the problems with you start and end with you. Alright? You determine everything about you. Your environment, how you grew up, all that stuff. It does help to a point, but ultimately you are responsible for who you are. You know, you may have grown up in a crappy neighborhood. You may have had a bad childhood, but in the end, it's you who decides whether to continue that path of negativity, of bad situations, of bad environments, or you who chooses to get out of it and to do something about it. Now, opportunities may be few and far between, but it is up to you to pursue those as best you can. And there are lots of opportunities to do better for yourself. That doesn't always mean financially. It doesn't always mean socioeconomically. There's a lot of different ways that can mean. So I think that the first step in turning men back into men should be for men to really look at themselves. All right? What do people think is wrong with the men, all right, around us? Well, read any of the articles out there online and you can see that the man isn't the head of the household anymore. All right, that's one. Well, why isn't he? Well, maybe it's because there is a large portion of men who run away from their responsibilities, you know, who get women knocked up and then walk away and say, hey, it's your problem, not mine. You know, maybe it's because men try to find the easy way out of things. Maybe it's because there are some men who let their women be the breadwinner in the family. I'm not saying that you have to that you have to always bring in the most, but you have to contribute. If you're not at least contributing to the household income, what is wrong with you? You know, I understand because of your training or background or whatever, you may not be the primary breadwinner, but to not bring in anything, I don't get it. All right, I couldn't do it. I've talked about this before. I don't understand that. All right? Being the man means being the protector. A lot of people think that this means weaponry. All right? Being the protector is a lot more than physical safety. All right? And some people will say that my answer is also the pussification. But it means being there for them emotionally. All right? I have a daughter. I have to be the shoulder that she needs to cry on sometimes. All right? That is being the protector for a woman. It's not always a physical threat. Sometimes it's an emotional one. You need to be there for them to confide in. And you have to understand that, unlike man logic, sometimes they just want you to listen and not give an answer. And boy, is that hard to do. But that is their idea of a protector. Someone who can help insulate them from their problems. Give them just a short out from their problems. Sometimes you got to take one for the team. You know, if they're, I don't know, say dad is giving them a hard time. Sometimes you got to take him out on the back deck and say, hey, let's go watch the birds. You know, that's sometimes being what a protector means. It means, you know, sacrificing a little bit of yourself, dealing with those tough situations to give them a break. It doesn't always mean shooting an intruder. It's not to mean that it doesn't sometimes mean that too. But a lot of people jump to that meaning. That's what it means. I got to be tough. I got to be strong. I got to defend. No, there's other ways to be the protector. To be the guy that watches out. You don't have to be intimidating. Sometimes you just have to be there. All right. Another thing, and like I said, some people are going to say that showing those emotions and being there for them and being what I call the protector is the pussification, because men shouldn't show their feelings. And I think that that's wrong. Because if you don't show your feelings and you don't show them that you care, then you come off as callous. And that's the last thing that you want. All right? Nobody wants that. Nobody has feelings towards someone who's callous and hard and cold and, you know, unfeeling and is just a brick wall. Nobody loves a brick wall. So you have to be there for them for that. You know, so there's lots of different ways that you can regain or maintain your manhood. You know, and you know, another way is take charge, but don't be a dictator. You know, a lot of people say, well, men are too wishy-washy. They're too fluid right now. You know, they don't take command. They're not the head of the household. Well, you know what? I agree to a point. Yes, sometimes they do need a leader. They do need someone to take charge and make decisions. All right? But sometimes you also need to let people fail. A good leader knows when to let someone fail. A good leader has failed. All right? That is a mark of a great leader, is to know when to let someone else fail, because it teaches them a lesson. And that, you know, great leaders never win all the time. And great leaders never dictate all the time either. There is a time to dictate. Don't get me wrong. There is a time to dictate. But there's also a time to take role and to get everyone's opinion. All right? Good situation, because here's the situation, because it could go either way. All right? Let's say that you got a job opportunity in another state. All right? Well, you should consult the family. You should at least let them know, hey, this opportunity has come up. Now, if it's you take it or you don't have a job, well, then dictatorship. All right? Especially if you're the primary breadwinner. There is no choice. We're moving. But if it's hey, we could move here and things could be a little bit easier. You know, we'd be making 10 or 20,000 more a month, and we could have a bigger house, and we could do this and we could do that. You know, or we could stay here. Well, now you need to get input from everybody, because especially depending upon your situation, maybe you're moving away from family and you'd be moving to a place where you wouldn't have a built-in support system. These are all things that need to factor in that maybe you didn't think about. So I don't know. These are the things that some people say are the pussification, but I say, they could be. But if you're going to fix them, you better fix them the right way. You better not just become a dick, because that's going to be even worse. So those are the things that I think are really important. So if you're going to become a real man, you need to take stock and make sure that you're doing things correctly. Because, you know, being a man is one thing. Being a family man and a caring man and a true man are something totally different. That's the end of our road trip for today. I'll see you next episode.